The night stretched its inky fingers across the landscape as I gripped the steering wheel, my knuckles turning white. The desolate road ahead seemed to disappear into an abyss of darkness, the feeble glow of my headlights barely making a dent in the velvety blackness. I glanced at the dashboard clock, 2:37 a.m., and a shiver crawled down my spine. I had been driving for hours, navigating through a labyrinth of narrow roads that twisted and turned like a serpent in the heart of the forest. The trees on either side seemed to lean in, whispering secrets that sent a chill down my spine. The only sounds were the haunting echoes of my own breath and the rhythmic hum of the engine, as if the car itself were trying to comfort me. I had lost track of time and place, relying solely on the flickering GPS screen for guidance. But even that small electronic device seemed to falter in the suffocating darkness, its voice occasionally crackling with static. The road signs, when they appeared, were weathered and barely legible, adding an extra layer of uncertainty to the journey. Suddenly, the car jolted, and the headlights flickered before plunging into darkness. Panic clenched at my chest as I wrestled with the steering wheel, desperately trying to regain control. The engine sputtered and died, leaving me alone in the silent void of the night. I fumbled for my phone, praying for a signal, but the screen remained stubbornly blank. The oppressive silence was broken by an eerie rustling in the trees, a sound that seemed to slither through the air like a sinister melody. My breath hitched, and I strained my ears, half expecting to hear the distant laughter of some unseen malevolence. The darkness outside pressed against the windows, and I felt like a trapped insect in a jar, scrutinized by unseen eyes. Summoning every ounce of courage, I opened the car door and stepped into the chilly night. The air was thick with an otherworldly stillness, and the forest seemed to hold its breath. As I surveyed the surroundings with my phone's feeble flashlight, the twisted branches cast dancing shadows that played tricks on my imagination. With a hesitant step, I started walking down the road, hoping to find signs of civilization, or at least a glimpse of the stars above. The night seemed to stretch on endlessly, and the road beneath my feet felt like a threadbare lifeline. The rustling in the trees persisted, growing louder with each step, as if the forest itself were closing in on me. As I stumbled forward, a faint glow appeared in the distance. Relief flooded through me as I quickened my pace toward the distant light. As I approached, the glow revealed itself to be an old, dilapidated gas station. The flickering fluorescent lights buzzed overhead, casting a sickly pallor over the cracked pavement. A shiver ran down my spine as I pushed open the creaking door, the bell above it jingling in protest. The air inside was heavy with the scent of aged cigarettes and stale coffee. An old radio crackled in the corner, emitting an eerie tune that added to the surreal atmosphere. Behind the counter stood a gaunt figure, the wrinkles on his face etched with the weariness of time. His eyes, however, glowed with an unnatural intensity that sent a chill down my spine. Without a word, he gestured toward the shelves, each one lined with dusty snacks and expired goods. "Lost, are ya?" he rasped, his voice carrying a spectral quality that echoed through the empty store. I nodded, unable to find my voice. "This road, it plays tricks on folks," he continued, his eyes piercing into mine. "You're not the first to wander through here, and you won't be the last. But not all make it out." A cold sweat broke out on my forehead as his words hung in the air. I paid for a flashlight and a map, the ancient cash register clanging ominously as he handed me my change. As I stepped back into the night, the rustling in the trees seemed to mock my feeble attempt to escape the clutches of the road. I followed the map with a newfound determination, the forest now a cathedral of shadows that whispered secrets I dared not comprehend. The road twisted and turned, and the night seemed to stretch into eternity. Just as doubt threatened to consume me, the headlights flickered back to life, revealing the familiar glow of highway signs. Relief washed over me as I merged onto the well-lit interstate, leaving the sinister road behind. But as I glanced in the rearview mirror, the gas station loomed in the distance, a solitary beacon in the sea of darkness. The old man's eyes seemed to follow me, and a lingering unease settled in the pit of my stomach. As the miles passed, I couldn't shake the feeling that the road had left an indelible mark on me. The shadows in the rearview mirror seemed to dance to the tune of the old radio, and the rustling in the trees echoed in the recesses of my mind. The night had played its tricks, leaving me with a tale that would haunt my every journey into the unknown.